Hello and welcome back to Exothermic Plays Games. I'm Exothermic and the date today is Friday, June 7th, 2024. I've been doing a countdown of my favorite video games of all time through each day of the year, and coming in at number 208 is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That's right, you just saw Kirby as a car. Kirby in the Forgotten Land's best and coolest new feature is called Mouthful Mode. Kirby sucks up very large inanimate objects and controls them. He can be a car. He can be a vending machine shooting pop cans at things and then pick up those carbonated bullets and drink them for health. He can be filled with water? They don't all make sense, and I'm so thrilled they don't have to. The main plot of Kirby in the Forgotten Land is that you and your friends have been sucked up into a different dimension, and you must save the Waddle-Dees and other of Kirby's friends from what appears to be a corrupted King Dedede. Spoiler, he's not the one making the decisions. As you save these Waddle-Dees, they join you in Waddle-Dee Village, a tiny protected space in this harsh landscape where you can relax, go fishing, take a nap, eat some cake, or even sell some cake. While the game is certainly a fun action game solo, the real draw to Kirby in the Forgotten Land is that it is the greatest younger sibling co-op game ever made. In the co-op, one player plays as Kirby and the other player is a special Waddle-Dee with a bandana and a spear. Kirby does his regular thing of sucking up enemies and gaining powers, of which there's a good mix in this game, but the bandana Waddle-Dee just gets their spear. That doesn't mean they can't do cool stuff though. With the spear you can stab enemies, throw it for a ranged attack, and even spin it above your head to kind of float like Kirby does. Additionally, it has an air attack that rains spears down below you. I'm a pretty big Kirby fan, especially the more expanded universe, if you will. You know, the stuff outside just the video games. There's a lot of great lore to the world, and the background characters have a lot of interesting, character to them. Waddle-Dees are just so dang adorable, and I love them. In fact, it's fitting that my wife plays Waddle-Dee when we play this game, because she too is tiny and full of rage. I think she gets way more enjoyment over making it rain spears than most people maybe should. As you play through stages of the game, you're of course trying to progress through the world, and you save Waddle-Dees at the end of each level, but there's several hidden ones throughout, and bonus objectives to get more too. This encourages you to play through each level several times over, and adds a ton of replayability to the game. At the end of each section of the world, there's also a big boss, also with bonus objectives to save even more Waddle-Dees, so you're encouraged to try different strategies as well. Without spoiling all of the things that happen, there's some extra stuff at the end of the game too. You can get to yet another part of this alternate dimension where things are even more different and replay sections of several levels and fight the big bosses all over again. But this time, they are much harder. You're not collecting Waddle-Dees this time around, but there's still reason to explore the little nooks and crannies as you go to pick up something spoilery. Just pick them up, it's fine. As for the rest of the town, there's lots to do. You can play mini games like fishing or selling food, which is especially fun with the second player. You can go to the movie theater and rewatch cutscenes, and you can fight in the Coliseum. This is just a gauntlet of boss battles in several difficulty modes, and you need to beat them all and earn rewards for how long it takes you to do it. You can heal between fights, but only so many times, and you do have a couple of options to swap your abilities around between each boss if you want to try a different strategy against them. Speaking of Kirby's abilities, you can upgrade them as the game goes on. There's the blacksmith in town, and if you find blueprints throughout the world, you can use them to upgrade each different type of ability. Eventually, after you beat the game, you can upgrade them further, though at that point it's just increasing damage instead of layering on additional attacks and abilities, but it's still a way to keep progressing your character while doing the harder difficulty stuff you unlock as the post-game. All in all, Kirby and the Forgotten Land is a great little co-op action game with fun level design and some hilarious moments with mouthful mode. It does have a lot of reasons for replayability, but to be honest, the times replaying levels aren't anywhere near as much fun to me, and there's actually not that many different abilities for Kirby to have relative to some other games in the franchise. Most of them are different types of attacks without feeling that different, though there's a couple that are really out there. Throughout the world, you can do time trial challenges with different abilities to really flex what they can do. Here's a time trial focused on the time stop ability, which slows time and refreshes the duration of the slow every time you defeat an enemy. The time trials are, I actually think, more enjoyable of replay value at least than most of the levels themselves, since they're in smaller chunks. I love Kirby games and I hold them to pretty high standards, so it's very possible I'm underranking this a bit by having it in the first half of the year. But don't worry, there's a lot more to cover later this year, and I'll talk about some of the things that I feel like this game was kind of missing the mark on when I get to them. Join me tomorrow as I talk about the 207th game on my list, where I accidentally explode my friends.